Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to deploy or create Amazon EKS cluster in AWS. So we will call it as EKS as Elastic Kubernetes Service. So what is Amazon EKS? So EKS is a manager service that you can use to run Kubernetes on AWS without need to install, operate or maintain your own Kubernetes control plans or nodes. So it will automate everything. So it is an open source system for automating the deployment, scaling and your containerized applications. So it will be calling as container orchestration tool, and you can it will be up to date versions of the open source Kubernetes software. So you can use all of the existing plugins or tools from the Kubernetes community. So the applications that are running on Amazon EKS are fully compatible with applications running on any standard Kubernetes environment, and no matter when they are running in on-premises or data centers or public clouds or private clouds. So it will be easily migrate any standard Kubernetes application to Amazon EKS without any code modification. So this is where the brief introduction about EKS in the AWS. So let's go to in the Amazon AWS console, and we can deploy the EKS cluster, and we will attach the worker node group, and we can deploy two servers. So for this we need to install AWS CLI. In my console I have a AWS install. I have my AWS version is already installed. So these are the few steps to deploy the EKS cluster. So this is the first step, install AWS CLI. So I have put this command. So I have AWS version. And next you need to install kubectl from the Kubernetes platform. Sorry, kubectl for Windows. So this is the command you need to copy and run this command in your Windows. Just hit enter. So it will take time to install the kubectl in your local machine. So this is the install kubectl, the second step, and this is a command you need to check whether your kubectl command whether it is working or not. So it will show the version as v1.27.3. So it is my kubectl version. So it is already installed. And next you need to set up your environment variables as your kubectl. You need to understand where it is located. So for that you need to go to your file explorer and choose properties, environment variables. So click on environment variables. So you need to I have already given this users min fee. So here this will be kubectl is installed. So you can see here in my kubectl, sorry, in users. So this is my kubectl which is installed now 2:53 p.m. 6/7. So this is where you need to give the environment variables here. So add new and you can give it. So as of my I have the already the environment variable path. So as the same as AWS CLI version also. So click on cancel. So I have already it is. So before that you need to create access key and secret key for cluster creation user. So for which cluster you want to create, that is the user you want to get the access key and secret keys. So I am using a Tarun user, so I'll go for security credentials. So Tarun will be creating the EKS cluster. So let me see the credentials. So let me delete these credentials. So let me create access key and secret keys. So these are my access key and secret keys. If you close this page, your access key and secret key will never see again. So you need to download the CSV. So in my case, I don't want to use this access keys. Whenever I want, you can create it. So these are the access key and secret keys. You need to configure AWS CLI using AWS configure. And I'm creating an USist one, and it's a default output JSON format. And the next step is to create a VPC and two public subnets for your cluster, and after that you need to create a key pair. So let's get back to the console and go to VPC. So if you see here, and there is no VPCs here, let me go to create VPC, and I'm doing automate the project EKS VPC. I'll go for 10.80 series, and I'll go for two availability zones and two public subnets, no need of private subnets, and no NAT gateway, no VPC endpoints, and create VPC. So if you see here, it is automatically taking the internet gateway creation, and it is attaching to the VPC, and it is attaching to the route table routes also. So view VPC. You can see here my VPC is created, and you can see here the two subnets are being created in 1A and 1B. You can see here 1A and 1B route tables. So it will be on one route table only. So it's a public route. So it is internet gateway attached, and the subnets to associated. So this is my internet gateway, which is EKS VPC. So let me delete this. I don't want to use this, which is a cost occurring. So we have created our VPC, and you can close this, and you need to create a key pair also for connecting to your nodes after creation of cluster. So go to key pairs. So I have four key pairs. I have the laptop key pair, so don't worry about that. So if you don't have, you can create a key pair, PEM or PPK, whatever you want. So I have my own key pair, and go to the IAM roles. You need to create two IAM roles for EKS and worker node. So go to IAM. So create a role. So choose here EKS. It will be service type as EKS here. So you need to choose EKS cluster, because this role will be creating a EKS cluster. It will be managed, and you can see here EKS cluster policy is attached. EKS cluster role, and create role. It will be created, and after that you need to create a worker node role also. So you need to attach these policies to the worker node policy role. So create worker node. So choose EC2. So choose the policies. First one is worker node policy. So it will connect your AWS EC2 from your EKS clusters. So it's easier. If you want to pull images from easier, it will be helpful. So this is container registry read only, and this is CNA policy. So this is, it will automatically install plugins from your CNI policy. So click on next. So EKS worker node policy, worker node role, and create role. It's already exists, so it is saying that it already exists. So let me go to roles and verify whether it is there or not. So it is already there. Let me check the EKS cluster role also. it is also okay, only one cluster role is there. So I'm deleting the existing EKS IAM role which I have created earlier. So you can see here EKS worker node and EKS cluster role policies has been created. And the next one is to create the EKS cluster in the console. So let me go to the Elastic Kubernetes service in EKS. And you can see here there is no clusters in my console. So if you want to add a cluster or you can register your cluster. So I'm creating a cluster. I'll name it as EKS Cluster North Virginia, or else I'll give as EKS Managed Cluster, or else AWS EKS. This is fine. And Kubernetes is 1.7 default role, and the cluster role is automatically selected. So click on next and choose your VPC. I have only one VPC, so it is came up the two public subnets and security group. I don't have any security group, so I need to create one security group. Let me go back to the EC2. Create a security group. EKS cluster allow all. So I'm going to allow all traffic, so this won't be in real time. So for the testing purpose I have allowed all, so it will be a VPC range. Create security group. So it is created. So refresh here and choose a security group, and it will be IPv4 address family. So no need to configure service IP address range. It will be automatically. So my endpoint access will be in public. So no need to give any public and private or private. So in real time you need to give these two options, public or private or public. So upon your requirement, and I don't want to enable any logs. So control plane there won't be any server logs or other logs. And you need to defaultly enable these EKS add-ons, so VPC, CNI, Proxy, Core DNS. So this will be installed by default. So this is where you can preview this cluster while creation, and this is a role EKS cluster role where it is creating, and networking to security, one security group and two subnets on VPC, and public endpoint access, and no logs, the three add-ons and add-on versions, and create a cluster. So it will take some time to create the cluster. Meanwhile, check the Kubectl version. So Kubectl version I have given here. Kubectl version short hyphen client. So run the Kubectl, get nodes. So it will throw an error that your cluster is not created and you have not connected to your cluster from Kubectl. So this is the error. Could not connect current security group API group. So it is actually refused it. So let me create after this cluster. So let me check the status. It is still in creating. If you see here, there is no worker node group or nodes or target profiles in my compute. So you can add your target profiles from other infrastructure to the cluster, or if you want to add only one node here, you can add it, or you want to create nodes into a group and you can add a node group. So in this case, we are creating a node group here. So it will automatically attach a auto scaling and it will deploy the auto scaling activity, and it will manage the workload between those two servers. You can see here networking. So this is my VPC and the service IP4 range, and the tool subnet security group, it will be attached. Additional security groups, this is my security group, and there is public server endpoint access. And you can see here 3 add-ons will be there: kubeproxy, Amazon VPC, CNA, Core DNS. It will be automatically installed and creating it is still in status. And there is no authentication here. There is no logs I have enabled. So if you have any updates of the cluster, you can have it here. And I don't have any tags here. And you can see here resources. There is no pods running in my cluster in the node group. So the pod is the smallest and simplest Kubernetes object. A pod represents a set of running containers on your cluster. Simple pod is nothing but a collection of containers running in your nodes. And it is still in creating stage. Let me refresh my console. So this is the warning like managed node group and target profile cannot be added while the cluster AWS EKS is being created. So I have not added anything. It's like a warning message. Let me pause the video. After the cluster came up, so if you see here, my EKS cluster is came up and it is inactive. So let's create a node group and attach to this cluster. So it is installed with 1.27 Kubernetes version and provided is EKS. So this is my AWS EKS cluster name, and you can see here overview and the API server endpoint, certificate authority, secrets encryption is off, and KMS guide I didn't given anything. If you want to enable, you can do it. And cluster IAM role, and it is created 9 minutes ago. And cluster ARN is this in EKS 3 platform version. And you need to go to compute, and you need to go to resources, whether your core DNS or came up or not. So I have not added any worker nodes, so it is not showing here. So it now was attached node group, it will show the here resources like 2 worker nodes are being created, and let me connect to my cluster using the cluster EKS name, AWS EKS. This is AWS command. So I have given here AWS EKS update config. So copy this command. So in the place of cluster name, you need to give AWS EKS. And the region name is US-East 1. You can see here in the region section, US East -1, it will be there. And copy this, and using the AWS CLI command, you can connect your EKS from the command line. So enter. So it will saying that update kubectl name AWS EKS region US East 1. Augment operation value choices. Let me check whether it is giving any error. Sorry, it is my bad. I need to give the extra spaces here. So this is error. So copy this and hit enter. So you can see here I have given the space here, so it is not connected the AWS EKS command. So it update -config is a namespace. Sorry, in its a new context. So it will add a new context in your ARN. It is using ARN cluster EKS. So it will be adding this specified path /kubeconfig. So let me show you this inside the users and username, and you can see here Kubectl is installed, and you can see here .kube and the config file. So it will be appear like this. Certificate authority and all these clusters, your details about this cluster here and the context. So it is shown up here. So this is even beta version 1. So let me try kubectl get and nodes. So there is no resources found. So let me create a node group inside the EKS cluster. So go to compute and add node group. So my EKS worker node group, I'll name it as this EKS worker node group, and select a node role which you have created earlier. So no need of labels, stands, tags, and launch template. Next, click on next. So I'll go for AMA type as Amazon Linux 2, which is updated version, and capacity type is on demand. Select instance type as TTL medium. So it will be as taking as default. Select disk size is 20 GB, or else you can want to decrease it, or else you can use this 20 GB. And I'll go for maximum as 3 nodes. So you can user size 2 and minimum size is 2. So it will automatically install a 2 AWS. It will launch a 2 EC2 instances in your node group scaling activity, the auto scaling configuration. And whenever the node update configuration, it will be unavailable should be 1. So if there is any update, one pod should be down and one node will be up, and it will be working fine. Click on next and choose the 2 subnets and configure here. If you want to go inside the worker nodes and you need to set up something, so you need to have the key pair. So previously I have created a laptop key pair. So yeah, in this video I have shown him from the scratch security groups, and this is a allow all, and you want to add this is also ENI, it is attached. So if you go here EC2, and you can see here and network interfaces, the 2 network interfaces are created in 1G and 1B, and the cluster security group is attached. And you can see here elastic network interface, and this is it primary IP addresses, and that's it. Select security groups, and this is a default security group, so no need to attach this, and click on next and create a worker node group. So it will take some time. So by default there is no instances here. If you can refresh here, you'll had a 2 instances launching up with auto scaling group activity. So if you see here node group configuration, Kubernetes version is 1.27, AMA release version is 1.27.1, AMI type is Amazon Linux 2, x86 64, T3 medium instance type, and status is creating. So if you see here, auto scaling group name is not yet configured or created. It will post this, it will create it, and the node group ARN, and this is IAM role which you have created node group. And capacity type is on demand. These are two, minimum 2 nodes should be available, and maximum 3 nodes. If there is any load, it will be pop up one and the 2 subnets. And if you want to access the nodes, so remote access, you need to have a laptop key pair. So this is my laptop key pair, and these are the security groups to attached. And these are the nodes, it will appear here. No health issues, no labels, no update config, no Kubernetes stands, update history, no tags. So let me refresh. So it is saying that health issue, one or more Amazon EC2 subnets node group, EKS work node group does not automatically listen. Public IP if you want to enable, okay. So you need to add the VPC public IP for your 2 subnets. So let me go to VPC and choose the subnet for which I have enabled and created. So these are my 2 subnets. Go to actions, view details, edit subnet settings, and enable auto assign IP for public IP address. Save. And I have edited 55F and choose the other one. Edit subnet settings, enable, and save. So try it now, so it will automatically add it or not. So we need to delete this and we need to create again, so there won't be any launching EC2 instances here in the console. So if you see here, there is no instances running here. So let me delete this. So let me add, for the time being I need to add a node group. So EKS worker node group, select IAM role, node role, and no launch template as I have shown you same. I'll give it as 3. Next. The 2 security groups attached. Create. So if you see here, there is no health issues in this node group. So let me delete that previous node group. So it is already deleted. So if you see here in the EC2 console, so 2 instances are going to initialize and the status X are in initializing. So if you see here in the nodes section, it will come up with the 2 nodes. So it is still in initializing. So go to the auto scaling groups here in the EC2 console. So you can see here auto scaling group is also created. So you can see here it is created now itself, and this is this time, and this is the activity. So it will launch the 2 EC2 instances with the auto scaling activity. Let me go to EC2 console instances page and refresh here. So you can see here 2 instances T3 medium. It is created a minute ago. So it will be 2 instances in a node group, and this is auto scaling worker group node name. Group name and these 2 subnets. So this is where your worker node need to create and attach to your EKS cluster. So you can see here the nodes will be available here. If this goes down, it will create automatically the 1 instance using the auto scaling activity. and go to this and kubectl get, and what is the short form for nodes. So if you see here, my 10.80.11.66 is my server, which is the one, and the other one is 17.40, and this is the 17.40 which is attached to the second worker node sub group, which is in 1A, 1B, and the first one is in 1A availability zone. So it will create in high availability zones. So this is where kubectl get nodes, and you can get kubectl describe node, copy and paste. So it will list all the information about the node. So you can see here the whole information, it has been shown up here, and IP address, status created, external IP, internal IP, external DNS, the process, CPU, memory, ports, how many ports, and it will create an machine ID, system ID, boot, and OS, image, cube system, and this is what it can appears like. If there is any no CPU memory or limits, it will show here the error message like this in the events section. So with this you can easily find out how the node is not able to create, or the pod is not able to create in my nodes. So this is where you can create a easily in 10 minute steps, 10 steps for the creation of cluster using these 9 to 10 steps, using the kubectl command, using install and the windows. So this is my EKS cluster creation video. So hope you guys like the video. Yeah, that's it guys, thanks for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe for more videos. Let me know if you have any queries, please post in the comment box. Thank you.